Okay, let's take a look at using pass the hash to set up a trust. What we're going to do is try to pass the hash with a local account, and that's only going to work if the SID 500 account is the same between systems, if it has the same password. And that's due to a patch applied to Windows 7 in 2014. So let's go ahead and try this with a local account. We could do pass the hash with a domain account if the hash is for a user who is a domain user who's a local admin on another system. That works as well. Let's go ahead and now just do pass the hash, and we'll do dot for the meaning a local account. Let's grab the NTLM hash and press enter, and there we go. We've spawned a process with Mimikatz and stolen a token from it. Now let's see if that token works. Let's just do a dir. Doesn't work on the DC. Let's see if it works on the file server, and it does. So we're able to pass this local administrator account's password hash to interrogate the file server. Let's talk about Kerberos tickets. Kerberos is a little bit different. Where the previous two techniques, pass the hash and using credentials, both boil down to creating an access token, Kerberos tickets are stored in something called the Kerberos tray. If you want to take a look at the contents of your Kerberos tray, type shell space klist inside a beacon. Okay? If you want to purge the current tickets that are in your Kerberos tray, just do Kerberos_ticket_purge. And if you want to load a ticket in a beacon, just do Kerberos_ticket_use. Now you may be asking, what is this Kerberos stuff, Raph? What are you talking about? Well, let me explain very briefly. Kerberos is a mechanism where you can prove to a broker called the Key Distribution Center Service that you are who you are, and the Key Distribution Center Service issues a ticket. You may now use that ticket to one time interact with a service and say, hey, service, I'm good. Here's my ticket granting ticket. Go verify it with that trusted broker and give me a service ticket that allows me to keep interacting with you without creating any burden on anybody else. If you capture one of these tickets or generate one, then you have the ability to interact with that service as whichever user is specified in the ticket. One place I use Kerberos to good effect is golden tickets, okay? A golden ticket is a self-generated Kerberos ticket with domain administrator rights. To forge a golden ticket with Mimikatz, you need 4 pieces of information. 1, you need to know the domain you want to forge a ticket for, okay? Next, you need the username of a domain administrator user. It has to be an active account, okay? Something that's enabled. Next, you need the domain SID they're going to forge a ticket for. And you can get this by typing shell whoami/user in a command shell, or in beacon, excuse me, and dropping the last numbers from that string that you get back. That's your domain SID. Those 3 pieces of information are available as any user on the domain. You don't need any kind of privileged context. The last piece you do need, though, is the NTLM hash of the KERB-TGT user from a domain controller. The KERB-TGT user is a disabled account, and it's the Kerberos ticket granting ticket user. That NTLM hash of the KERB-TGT user is the secret that security of Kerberos in a Windows environment depends on, okay? So if you capture that KERB-TGT hash, you can forge your own tickets and present those tickets to other services, and they'll give you service tickets that allow you to interact with that service as that user. Cobalt Strike makes it easy to generate a golden ticket. Just right-click on a beacon, go to Access, Golden Ticket. Put in the username you want to create a golden ticket for, the domain SID, and the NTLM hash of that KERB-TGT user. press build, and Cobalt Strike will use Mimikatz to both build the ticket and inject it into memory on a target. You do not have to be an admin on a target to do this. Okay, let's take a look at generating a Kerberos golden ticket. Okay. First, let's take a look at my Kerberos tray. And because we're in a 64-bit payload, or excuse me, 32-bit payload on a 64-bit system, we'll do C Windows Sys Native. And all these Kerberos tickets are as the JSmith user. Okay, fine. To generate a golden ticket with Cobalt Strike, just go to Access, Golden Ticket. And we need to provide these 4 pieces of information. Well, we know that the administrator account is active in Playland. We know that the domain name is Playland. We need the domain SID. So let's just do a whoami /user. And this value here is the domain SID for Playland. So let's just go ahead and grab that. Now we need the KERB-TGT hash from the domain controller. That's something that has to come from a previous compromise of the domain controller. So let's go over to this team server and look at the credential store. And these are the hashes dumped from a previous adventure. So let's press copy to put the KERB-TGT hash in the clipboard. Come back over here. And let's go ahead and paste in that KERB hash, but without the other pieces. And there we go. Press build, and Cobalt Strike will ask Mimikatz to create a golden ticket and inject it into memory. And better, we'll make sure that the ticket is only actually valid for 8 hours and allows itself, and it's allowed to renew, I think, for up to 1 week. So let's look at our Kerberos tray now with a K-list. And you can see we have a Kerberos ticket granting ticket here for the administrator user. So now let's just go ahead and try to talk to the DC and see if it works. And it did. So that's an example of using a Kerberos golden ticket to establish a trust relationship inside of a Windows network.